To Felicity Banquet Hall, where unforgettable memories are made. Whether you're planning a wedding, birthday party, corporate meeting, or any special gathering. Why choose us? We are spacious, elegant, and fully air-conditioned hall. Customizable seating for up to 200 guests. Beautiful decor and lighting options. On-site kitchen and catering services. We are available 7 days a week. Located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity Shogunas. Call the number on the screen today and book now.
Okay, my friends, pleasant, good Saturday afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. And those of you who are locked on, those of you who are anticipating our program Hard Facts that is aired Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, starting time 12:15 in the afternoon. Our midday show is on. So those of you who are locked on, please share this video. Those of you who are maybe having some concerns, some queries, maybe something is happening adverse in your different communities, maybe you'd like to call us 372-2129. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim, and I'm here for the next hour, inviting you, those of you who are locked on, to share this video and allow people to call us and let us know what is taking place in your neck of the woods. There's a lot of things that's happening presently in our country, namely, and those of you who had been awake, you would realize that there was an earthquake last night. And you're going to realize that there are people who really and truly love to create sensation, and they just love the likes, the likes on Facebook and social media. They would use, different modes and different, questionable thoughts that they have to see how they can maybe gravitate uneducated minds towards their platform. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, we have some situation that is brewing in our country at this point in time, namely what we have seen. The American, they are bringing their warships and so forth in the closest proximity of the various countries. And we are seeing, my friends, people, vocal speakers from the different regional countries. Those countries, we are seeing ministers, we are seeing vocal speakers coming out, and they are really and truly making their voices be heard in the true sense of the word. Tension high in the Caribbean at this point in time. And a lot of people, those of you who are locked on, I would like you all to call, but you have to be very discreet, because I tell you something, nothing is concrete. We are seeing things happening, and chances are that could blow away. Chances are that could blow away. But again, we have to be prepared. Citizens of our country has to be prepared. And today's program, I am inviting those of you who have knowledge pertaining to invasions and so many different things. Maybe you can call the show and advise the citizens of our country what we should be doing. I have done some research. And basically the first thing that should be done, is that we should be really and truly looking at credible reporting. Very, very important. Because I tell you something, when you look at social media, Trinidad and Tobago, and those of you are locked on, whether you are in North America, South America, different parts of the world, maybe you are seeing what is happening in our country, and everyone is saying that America is going to invade, and they're going to invade Venezuela and so forth. And the talk of the ground floor in Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time is, maybe if missiles are being fired, maybe greater chances are we could be hit in our country. That is the speculation, and that is what we are supposed to be talking about. How should we really and truly prepare ourselves if something like that should occur in our country? So we have to be real. We can't just, bury our heads in sand, and most of the time we take what is being shared in the media, because again, nobody is willing to come out and say anything that is concrete. Everybody is speculating, even so much so the government of the day, they are not making any loud proclamation. They are being very, very discreet, and everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting. So Trinidad and Tobago, you and I, we could join together here. We could have a collaborated show in our program here, and we can identify, we can talk about it. And I'm inviting the government ministers and those persons who are in opposition. I know for a fact that if I have 5,000 followers, and if I have 5,000 people following my show, and that is just a tip of the iceberg, because I tell you something, we have approximately 40,000 followers. Director, you pull up those things later and let people know that Imam Rashid Karim is really and truly speaking. I am putting words where it's supposed to be. We have approximately 40,000 followers on this program, Hard Facts, Sentinel Media Broadcasting, and you all have an opportunity. You can call me at 372-2129. A lot of things is happening. Right? We're not going to talk about performance of government. We're not going to talk about budget debate, because again, that is irrelevant at this point in time. We have to talk about people. We have to talk about substantial things. Things like jobs. Right? We have to talk about the job security and safety. Because I've been hearing, and I've been looking on, and I've been listening to proclamation being made by individuals in our country. And really and truly, it doesn't sound good, number one. It doesn't portray the individuals properly. And again, my friends, really and truly, those things are not beneficial. It is not beneficial to the citizens of our country. So again, my friends, those of you who are locked on, you have an opportunity to call me at 372-2129 if there's a invasion that is taking place or will take place or might take place or whatever we want to call it, speculation. I want to let you all know the short-term answer to that question is that we have to look at the credibility. We have to look at the credibility of the media, what information is being disseminated to us. We have a call on the line, Director. Caller, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Brother Sheikh Rashid. I've been watching the program, and I think you're doing really, really good work. Alhamdulillah.
Jazakallah khairan.
My name is Brother Lukman. Recently, we actually started some Dawa classes at a building in Charleville East.
Yeah.
So the local community came out and they helped clean up the place, and they started like a masala based on those in walking distance and stuff like that.
Alhamdulillah.
The response has been amazing, so I wanted to tell you about that as well. Hopefully, I can come at one of the members and talk more about it, inshallah.
Inshallah. This week I will make my director and a group of individuals gather at that facility, because I am hearing a lot of tremendous good things being said about that. The madrasa that is being set up there, and that Salat Khana that is located in the proximity of the highway, just on the highway by the walkover. That is in Charleville Ashja complex next to the Wali Nagar there. I know sometimes people are going down the road and maybe Zohar Salat is about to maybe present itself, which would be around the 12:30, 12:45 marker. You can, those of you who are driving heading to south, you can even just shift on the left hand side there, and you can take your Salat and come back on the highway. It's a very, very easy access. So thank you very much, Sheikh, for calling me. And as I said before, those of you who are interested, that's a very, very worthwhile endeavor. That is where a lot of children are going to get a lot of education when it comes to Islam, when it comes to academic subjects and so forth. Those of you who would like to contribute to that venture, you can call 372-2129. We'll take the message and we can transmit, or we can further give you the number who you can contact. And that would have been Sheikh Lukman, Brother Fazil, and a few brothers who is working tirelessly. Those persons who would like to contribute anything towards the development of the community in Charleville, because that area, it doesn't encroach in no Jamaat. I just want to let you all know. You know, sometimes people will say, Charleville by the highway have a mosque, and lower down have a mosque, and down by Brother Inshan they have a mosque. Yes. When you look at the feasibility of it, there are people who do not have the viability and transport to really and truly goes to those locations. And some family, a distinguished family of Charleville, they have heed the call, and there was a building that was next to the walkover. Those of you who are heading south, on the left-hand side of the walkover, you're going to realize that is where the Markaz is. That is where the new institute, the Salat Khana, is being set up. And you can drop in and talk to the sheikh, you can talk to the brothers who is there, give them some advice, take some advice, and see what you can do to develop that community. They are not encroaching on nobody, and they are not dividing anything, they are not splitting any Jamaat. Those are people who they do not have access to a place of worship, and that is being created at this point in time. So thank you very much, Sheikh. All right, so my friends, those of you who are locked on, again, I want to let you all know that a lot of development is taking place when it comes to community and humanitarian service. The IFST, that's an Islamic organization, firstly, let me just introduce that organization. The Islamic Fidayal Services Trust, that was an organization that was set up firstly to bury the deceased members of the Islamic community. And that they did a wonderful job, because I was a member, a foundation member from the inception. And my friends, today I just want to let you all know that I am the chairman of that organization, right? Not blowing my horn for no purpose, just to let you all know that we have established now, we have deviated a little bit in the sense that we have 3 funeral services that can accommodate and fulfill the rights of the Islamic community in Trinidad and Tobago. Number 1 is the Ojir funeral service, that is in Deep South. The second one would have been the Muslim funeral service, that is in Felicity Shogunas. And the third one is Shyam Funeral Agency, that is in Warrenville. So those 3 organizations, they are really and truly doing enough service when it comes to funeral and burial service for the Islamic community. Now the IFSC initiated that. I want to let you all know, we were the first group that initiated that, and we did a lot of job, we did a lot of work on it. But again, it had sometimes, you know, we have to move on. And what we did now, we have established, director, you can pull up that video. We can pull up that video. You can slow down the volume and pull up that video. Okay, my friends, Trinidad. This home that is being set up, as you can see, a peaceful home and daycare for the aged is being constructed in Abid Road, Felicity Shogunas. That is the IFST Trinidad and Tobago. You can call 308-5318 if you would like to volunteer. Maybe you would like to come and do some masonry, you would like to do some carpentry, you would like to do some electrical, whatever you would like to do. And this is the access route. We are calling on the relevant agency. We're not blaming anyone. We're not blaming anyone, but as I tell you all, this is the access road. This is the access road to that investment that is going to take place presently. And it is really and truly going at a steady pace. We are looking to accommodate at least 75 to 80 individuals in a spacious accommodation. And we are looking to help our old, I shouldn't say old, our aged citizens in our country. Right? We are trying to at least give them that humanity and humanitarian service that they so rightly deserve by, you know, creating a safe Trinidad and Tobago. Whether they are of different faiths, we don't really care. But again, my friends, we are going to subscribe to the tenets of our faith. And those of you who are locked on, you can call us at that number 308 if you would like to enroll. If you would like to enroll a member of your family, and you can get more information from the PR team. You're going to get more information from the PRT, but we're looking to open that center, that facility in maybe February 2026. Right? Come back to me, Director. So those are the things that we are doing. We are about saving humanity. We are about caring for our humanity. We are not about making money and because I tell you something. If God, we say God forbid, yes. If something adverse should happen, right, in what we are seeing in the perimeter of our Caribbean countries, the banking system and all these people, you're going to look at the monies that we have and you're going to realize that if you have money and you can't buy food, what is the use of money? What is the use of money? So these are things that, we really and truly have to relate to. And I'm calling those of you who are locked on, it is really imperative that you understand clearly what we should be doing as citizens of our country. As I said before, we are seeing this. This is not secret. It is not secret. We are seeing this. And even so much, if our country and the people who supposed to be advising the country remain mum and they are staying quiet, it is people like myself. It is people like you. We have to come out and we have to establish ourselves in a manner whereby people can feel safe once more again. That is what we are all about. And we are saying this, my friends, we are not creating any hysteria. We're not doing that. What we are doing, we are letting the citizens of our country know that number one, we have to verify all information that is coming. We can't just take it hook, line, and sinker. We see an invasion, America going to invade Venezuela, and we say, okay, yes, America this. No, we can't do that. Let us be rightly guided in the true sense of the word. Get substantial, correct information and ensure that the information is verified, because a lot of people today, they are doing AI-generated stuff and it's creating panic and it's creating hate and discord and disharmony and disunity around the world. Not only in Trinidad and Tobago, around the world. And we have to be very, very mindful, my loving citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. We have to be very, very mindful of these things. So I'm inviting you all again. The number is 3722129. And that video that we ran a short while ago, where the home for the aged is being established, right? Those persons who are in authority, I would not call any names, but those persons who are in authority, we are giving you fair notice. We can't tell you fix the road. We can't tell you do this, do that. We are not government. We can't tell you what to do. But we are pleading on behalf of the citizens of our country that those roads are dilapidated at this point in time, and we would really and truly appreciate if we get some material in the beginning, just to fill the big crevices that is on the roadway. Director, run back that video for me, please. And those of you in the authority and those of you who are watching, this is constructed in the road, Felicity Shabonas. It is for the aged. It is a home, a daycare for the elderly. Sometimes, you are going out on a holiday and your family, your mom or your dad, and you would like to have somebody to take care of them for a week, for 10 days, for 5 days, for 2 days, or maybe you have a doctor appointment, or maybe you have an emergency and you would like to bring your mom or your dad daycare visit for the day. We have doctors would be on site. We have nurses going to be on site. And we have a lot of things. And the costing, as I said before, it is not a money-making thing. We are going to give back to our country. We are going to give back to our elderlies. And we are going to work to them. We are asking whoever in charge, the government could come in. We are asking, private citizens could come in. We are asking the NGOs could come in. Anybody could come in. We want to be transparent. And you know something? I want to let you all know, the board of directors of the IFST, we met last week. And one of the words, our watchword, is just saying this for you all, the watchword for that enterprise that is being constructed, that building that is being constructed is a home for the aged. The watchword there is kindness. That is going to be the watchword. Anytime anybody is found guilty, you are working in that premises, and you are found guilty, ill-treating any of the elderlies in that home, automatically you will be signing a document where you are going to be fired forthwith. And there's not going to be any mediation, because we have seen this. We know this for a fact that there are many, many places around the world. We have been seeing this in our country, in different parts of the country, and so many things. We are seeing that people are not being treated fairly, and the organization, the IFST, that organization is not a brand new organization. That organization has been established over 48 years now. We're talking about a good number of years. And we had really, really good people who started this organization. And my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, you can be part of that organization by calling 372-2129. Let us know if you would like to volunteer, whatever time that you have, you would like to come spend some time with the elderlies in our country, Trinidad and Tobago. Now we're going back. We're going back. I'm giving you enough time, those of you who are watching our show, those of you who are live on TikTok, those of you who are watching me, you can maybe text messages and I could be able to read it. Once the message is conducive for the audience, my audience is a different audience. We're not a Mobilang audience. We are here to really and truly identify. We are going to identify the anomalies, the atrocities, the goodness. We're going to identify it. And where kudus is a necessity, we're going to give kudus where it is needed. And we're going to also criticize you constructively. Not to make you hurt or bring you down, but constructively so that you can do the country's bidding properly. That is what we are all about. So we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, my friends, we are going to dive into our program, because I tell you something, 300 and approximate 15 lives have been lost in our country already. Okay, my friends, that is Island Express General Hardware. We are located at Rashid Avenue, Kakandi Road, Felicity, Shogunas. We have the best prices on all building materials. We are here to really and truly give back to our country. So those of you who have maybe have some interest in building your homes, you can contact the numbers that is illustrated in that video and benefit from the low prices that we are offering right now. Example, we are selling vinyls at $399 per roll. We are selling paints, all paints, $69.95. Good prices, I tell you, good prices. Doors starting at $295. And the combo, when you buy a pine door, you're going to get a lock for $75. Everything is going to work up at $499 for a solid pitch pine door. Thank you very much, Director, for that wonderful, wonderful video. Again, my friends, those of you who are locked on, this is your program. Hard Facts is a program that is designed. You're going to realize that we are here from 12:15 to 1:15. We are not encroaching on nobody's time. You are having your lunch. You have an important dialogue. You want to talk to me. You want to say hello. You want to ask a question. Maybe you can call me and let me know. Director, put out the links so that people can really and truly call us. And I tell you all, there's a lot of things happening in our country, namely, what is speculating to be an invasion. Now, I told you all earlier, my friends, I told you all that we have to verify the information. These are some of the things that we should do right now. We should not panic, right? We should take some prudent steps. In the sense that stick to verify information. We have a government in place, and I would have expected that the Ministry of Information and so forth, they are going to share information to you all. And those information has to be information that is coming, not, speculations. Because people are worried, people are concerned. And you know something, if something should happen, you know what? Everybody's going to run to the supermarket. Everybody's going to do it. Normally you have, a person should not be hand-to-mouth, right? I'm telling you this. You should always, a person should, if you have children, you have elderly in your community, you have elderly in your home, you should always have some stock available in case of any emergency, whether it's an invasion, whether it's an earthquake, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's a storm, whatever. You always have some sort of commodities in your home and prepare yourself. You always have to be prepared, right? You don't wait till the home has been invaded by bandits. You have to prepare yourself, put things in place. If by chance you hear a squeak coming from your door, you should already have things in place. You should have a plan B, right? You should have things in place. And that is what we are all about in the program, to educate, to inform, and to really and truly identify some of the challenges that you are plagued with on a daily basis. So we have to stick with verified information. Again, you know something, when you Google, you try to find out, they are going to tell you things like, you know, avoid U.S. government facilities, right? Because, I mean, maybe that would have been information if you are in a war zone with a different country. But we're not in that. We have to be very, very mindful. The basis of our talk here is that information has to be verified, and the government of the day, the Kamala Prasad Bisesa regime, has to be on top, not waiting. Because I know for a fact that sometimes, you know, people wait until other people share information, and then lastly, they want to be so right. They don't want to be wrong at all. Sometimes it is be good. You say something and maybe you're wrong. Admit you're wrong because the information that came to you was not 100%. But it's good to be aware. You have to be aware. No negative publicity is bad publicity. Always remember that. Because somehow or the other, somebody is going to benefit from negativity or your bad publicity. Somebody outside there is going to benefit, right? So we have to look out for each other. Very, very important. Citizens of our country have to look out for each other. We have to really become strong brothers keeper. We have to become friendly with our neighbors. We have to understand these things, because anything adverse happen, the first person, let me just give you an example. Say you are maybe a person living in Penal, or you are a person living in somewhere in the north, right? And maybe you move across there via marriage. Your family roots would have been in the south or the north, and the person next to you is your neighbor. If something should happen to you, your family who is in the north or in the south of Trinidad, they would not be able to render assistance to you immediately when you need your assistance. So basically the point I am making is that we have to start knowing our neighbors, start identifying with our neighbors, start having communication with our neighbors in case anything adverse should happen. Anything adverse should happen, we have to be, my friends, we have to be our brother's keeper. Director, we have a call? Okay, so those of you who are locked on again, this is your program, Hard Facts. We are identifying. Let me just get some of those, the excerpts that we had collected pertaining to the issues that is rising in our country at this point in time. Director? High tension. Well, you all know this is what the program is all about today. A group of Trini fishermen left shaken after being what? After being chased by Guardia Nacional, right? Group of Trini. Now tell us something, Trinidadian fishermen, you all try to understand this. We are in a temptation period, right? We are in a period here right now, high tension at the sea, and you all go to brave, you all understand what is taking place. Fish closer to the port area, fish closer to land, to Trinidad, stop going outside there and braving the inclemency. You're going to be treated like that. Let we be real, man. Let us be real. There's high tension. You've seen that. That's a daily newspaper. That is the Express daily newspaper telling you high tension is taking place. They are really and truly, the media is telling you to be careful what is taking, and you running close there. No, man. Come back, director. Again. Continue. Right. What we are seeing, very sad analysts wants regime change in Venezuela could destabilize the region. That's analysts again. You see, in one breath, people are saying that, you know, Donald Trump is going to invade, America is going to invade there. Now the analysis, those people who are the people who study what is taking place in this region. They warn the regime that if a regime change in Venezuela, that could destabilize the region. Not only Venezuela, that could destabilize the region. Continue, Director. Okay, this is Finance Minister Ravindranath Tanku, and he's claiming emphatically clear. You can look at his facial expression. He's stating clearly that funds are available for wages. Parliament approved new increases. So again, you know, we are seeing this debating taking place that the government of the day made a pledge for some 10% to the unions, and they're not going to fulfill that and so forth. Again, clash in Parliament over 1 million poetry project. People have to plant food, not poetry. You have to understand these things. PNM accused PM of taking people for food as U.S. naval ship arrives. Okay, let me deal with that a little bit. Let me deal with that. Come back to me, Director. Now, we had to deal with those issues. I'll tell you something. If PNM was in power, maybe the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa and opposition maybe would take that kind of very said stand. Because I'll tell you something, opposition has to oppose. Government has to lead and rule. And they have to do projects and so forth. Now, that $1 million poetry project, that really and truly, how people are going to eat poetry, boy? Are we going to eat poetry? So we have to really and truly understand, analyze, and see what is taking place in our country, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of things is happening, and if you don't put your foot forward, you don't put your foot forward and make that movement towards a change, you're going to remain standstill, you're going to remain stagnated. We are seeing this when, you know, I have been looking at debates, I've been looking at debates, Trinidad and Tobago, do not be mama guy, do not be fool. The PNM have to really and truly understand that they were in government for 10 years. They were not in opposition. So when you come to, they are the last people to speak, you know. Whenever a government remain in power for 10 years, right, and they make the change. Now, if Kamala Prasad Bisesa government get 5 years, and they make some changes, build hospital, build roads, build this, build the next, and maybe something happened, the government change again. They did that in 5 years. But we are talking about the PNM was in power for 10 years. What have they done? What have they done really and truly? Right? What have they done really and truly for the betterment of our country? Because basically there is lack of beds in hospital. Right? Lack of beds in hospital. They had a hospital, Kamala Prasad Bisesa built a hospital so many years ago. And they run that hospital to the ground. Things move out from there. Beds were not functioning. Machinery were not functioning. Now change. We have to recap. We have to do everything. We have to refacilitate that hospital at an exorbitant cost. When we could have been making bed space, we could have been making bed space for our infirm citizens in our country. So again, the PNM people, I tell you something, you all should be the last to speak. When you go in Parliament, you should take a silent pill and sit down and take your blows. Because for 10 years, you all did nothing, or you tried to do something and you didn't establish nothing, or you did not really and truly facilitate the needs of our citizens. You all complaining, everybody's complaining about CPEP and URP, CPEP and URP. When Kamala Prasad Bisesa was in government 2010 to 2015, there was CPEP and URP. And when PNM came into power, all those contractors and all those persons who work in CPEP, that program went to another hand. It went to different contractors, it went to different people. It went to the supporters of the PNM. Whether you like it or not, you can't duck that. You can't hide from that. That is the truth. Right? And if you, I tell you something, some of the government ministers, they might not be versatile. Right? They might not be vociferous in their speech. But that doesn't make them fools. That doesn't make them fools. Because I tell you something, you, the opposition at this point in time, led by our friend there, Pamela, I tell you something, you all were in government for 10 years. You are the last to speak. Stay quiet. Do as the government doing right now. If you can't support the government at this point in time, better you shut up, because you were there 10 years and you did not facilitate anything to improve the health, whether it be education, whether it be health, whether it be infrastructure. Right? People telling me, they're calling me and telling me, Imam, that budget is a draconian budget. You know? They're telling me that. Telling me to talk about the budget and do the, hey, let me tell you something, Roxo, I'm not going to waste my time, because PNM had so many budget read, and what did they do? When you look at the close to $1 trillion spent, what did the citizens of our country? Is a good thing for natural gas, for that LNG plant and so forth. Otherwise, we would have been sucking salt. We would have been eating grass. So it's a good thing that we have that system functioning right now. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any money to spend in this country. People won't have money to buy goods to bring in the country. Because at present, that is the situation. That is the dilemma. People want to bring in goods. Christmas is just about 2 months away. We might have a bleak Christmas. Anything should happen adverse with Venezuela and America. This country, citizens of our country, we are going to have some ripple effect taking place in our country. You will have to understand that. You have to understand. That's the reason why I'm telling you today, we have to prepare ourselves. I'm not telling you to take guns and walk the streets. No, I am telling you we have to understand. We have to look out for each other. We have to understand these things. We have to have a contingency plan. We have to have a contingency plan. We must have a checklist. If you know, hear me, Trinidad and Tobago, listen carefully what I'm saying. You know you have a person sick, and maybe they are in need of a certain medication. You have to get those things ready. You have to have maybe a supply ahead. I'm not saying to go and buy and stock up, right? I'm saying you must have a stock available, maybe 1 month stock, so that in case anything should happen, you would be able to have enough time to encounter and try to find where you can find the other supplies of medications. So this to be at this point in time. We have to be preparing ourselves. We have to be, educating ourselves in the system, how to really and truly find some sort of challenges, how we can be able to really and truly get information to beat the challenges of our time. This is what we have to be doing. So those of you who are locked on and you feel that you can make a contribution to our program, call me at 3722129. I don't want to hear nothing about performance of ministers. Don't call me and tell me nothing about performance of ministers. Because 10 years ago we suffering, and if the government, the United National Congress government now came into office, give them some time, the T10 program, give them some time, let them move in. I look at some of the, I tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, you have to be very careful. Right? I see some of the media, so-called media personnel, they're asking questions. If they would ask Rowley that question, Rowley will give them a fitting answer. But the United National Congress and their ministers, they're not seasoned politicians in the true sense of the word to answer back the media. But that time come in. That time come in. So media personnel, when you asking question, ask question that is relevant. Don't ask question that you're trying to make a minister look bad. How many of you ask question and you talk about the Minister of Homeland Security as though he's a kindergarten student. You try to make him. You have to understand the level of the man. You have to understand the standard of the man. You have to understand the approach of the man, right? And stop asking and belittling and bringing him down. He had to do what he had to do. He had to do what he have to do to ensure safety in our country. That is the reason why the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa put him there. Right? You had a minister in the past, right? You had a minister in the past. You know what he said? My job is not to fight crime, And he's the man in charge. He's the man. He was the minister in charge. And he said, my job is not that, What is my job? Huh? What is your job? You are the Minister of National Security. You are the Minister of Homeland Security. You have to ensure that every citizen of our country is well protected. And you have to implement plan. And you have to call all these commissioners and all the different, the inspectors and all those people who's in charge and pull them together squarely, have an outreach program, have meetings with them, and have, communicate with them and develop strategic program. What you're going to develop for Ikakas, what you're going to develop for Maracas area and the east and north, devise strategies and plans that could benefit citizens of our country and inculcate and ask people as citizens, to send in information via a hotline or something like that, so that people can really and truly give you information that you could be able to utilize. Like I told you all this, recently I told you all this, I call a certain minister and to talk about, to talk about the traffic congestion in Shoguna's area, right? And the information and the response I get is really and truly clearly indicate to me that your information is not necessary. We don't need your information. I tell you something, all hands on deck. All hands on deck. At this point in time, for Trinidad and Tobago to be a better place, Everybody has to come on board. Whether you are Hindu, Christian, black, blue, green, yellow, every single individual, every single citizen of our country, all hands on deck. Imam Rashid Karim says that. Imam Rashid Karim is telling you all of us have to be united, all of us have to be at full strength to really and truly overcome any encounters that is going to be happening to our country in the very near future. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we can conclude our program, Hard Facts, that is aired Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, starting time 12:15 in the afternoon. Okay, my friends, welcome back to our program, Hard Facts, that is aired on Sentinel Media Broadcasting Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim. And my friends, again, those of you who are locked on, we are here really and truly to identify some of the challenges that our hard-working citizens of our country, our leaders of our country, even so much so the normal citizens who are working in the different arenas, you can have a voice. You can have a voice. That's the reason. If you are a housewife, you are a builder, you are a construction worker, you are a government laborer, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, Hard Facts is your program. You can call the station, identify, let us know what is your problem, what is your challenges, and we are going to debate it here. We're going to let you know, we're going to give you information. Like, for example, I spoke about a contingency plan, right? A contingency plan. That's a very, very important thing. We just say something should happen. Invasion should take place, because everybody running from that, everybody running from talking about this, because everybody love the American visa and they want to go to America and think nothing wrong. We are not saying, we're not attacking anybody. We're not saying anything adverse about anybody, right? I love to go in America. I travel to America. America is a very good place. We go to different parts of the world, yes. But again, what is happening? We can't bury our heads in sand and say, well, nothing is happening. We dig a hole, we put our head in the sand, like Maracas. When children go, they bathe and they, the father dig a hole and they put them there and their head alone showing. No, we can't do that. We have to understand that things are happening. If you look at the world scenario, there's certain things that transpired in the past with different regimes, different countries, different arenas, right? And people had contingency plan. We have to have that. Every citizen of our country should have a contingency plan. Number one, family communication is important. That is a plan. Decide on a family meeting place where we can talk with our neighbors and our friends and so forth. Have that established, right? We have to contact people. Like, let me just say something. Remember, America is not a little small country, right? America is not a small country. America has multicultural, multifaceted, multi-different ethnic backgrounds, professional backgrounds coming from different parts of the Caribbean, and even so much so in Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, Trinidad, and the Caribbean islands. All these islands have our families residing in America, right? So we have to think about the betterment of everyone. Decisions has to be made, yes, but those decisions has to be made in the context of serving the people and not only, dividing or conquering or whatever. Like, we're supposed to be unifying ourselves and our families and our countries. And as a matter of fact, unifying the world. You know something? We really and truly don't understand this life that we are living. What is the objective? What is the purpose of our life? Why it is that God Almighty sent us in this world? Why? Anybody ever ask that question? Just come here, live, procreate, have children, build house, do business, and die? Is that the reason? Is that the general purpose? That is part of it, yes. But that is not that's not the final analysis of being here. We have to be able to live in a manner that is befitting and pleasing to our Creator. So that when we leave this world, everybody will leave this world. Donald Trump will leave this world. Kamala Prasad-Bissessa will leave this world. Maduro will leave this world. All leaders will leave the world. Huh? Everybody will leave this world. And then we have to stand on the day of requital, the day of judgment, if you want to call it that grand day. And then you're going to ask, God Almighty will ask you question, what did you do? I gave you authority, I gave you power, I gave you knowledge, I gave you wealth, I gave you beauty, I gave you all these things. What did you do with it? And you have to answer. You will have to answer. That's the reason why today a contingency plan is very, very important. Having communication with your families in your different areas. And another important one is we should have an emergency go bag with household supplies. Because you look at it, you watching television, you watching movies. When war breaks out in countries, right? You'll see that families grabbing up a bag. That is what they call a go bag, with things like a lighter, with some bandages, things that that is an everyday necessity, right? That is what you call a go bag. Amenities that could make your survival a easy one. Very, very important. Essential things. Essential things. Forget board paper. People will tell you about board paper and land deed and this, that, and the next. Put that somewhere else. Rocks over that. We're talking about survival. You don't need a document, a board paper to survive, right? Unless you're in a different country and you had to pass through borders and things. Trinidad, you don't have to pass through no border. You live in San Fernando, you go to Port of Spain, you don't have to show no identification. Right? So those things are secondary. An important thing, my friends, again, we have to ensure that things in our homes, if you have a disaster like what maybe a peril that may happen, we don't know. Last night we had an earthquake 5.4 magnitude. That could have been a 9 point something magnitude and the whole place could have crumbled. We don't know. So we're not speculating here on this program. We are talking about survival and we are talking about plans and we are talking about identifying things that we could do to ensure that if something adverse happens, we are prepared. That's it. Preparation is very important. Huh? You all remember? Huh? You all remember maybe many moons ago, we're talking about when I was going elementary school, there was a motto when it comes to health: prevention is better than cure. Prevention is better than cure. Same thing we are saying here on this program, we are using it and we are going a bit further. We're saying that preparation is better than adversity. When you prepare yourself, anything can happen. You're preparing yourself. That is the reason why the Islamic community, you're going to realize that the month of Ramadan comes, you fast for more days. You fast for 30 days, 29 to 30 days, where you stay away from food and drink for 14, 15 hours per day. So those things are, are prescribed for you so that you can be able to prepare yourself in case something adverse should happen. You will not, you will not suffocate and die and say, boy, 6 hours gone and me ate nothing, 10 hours gone and me ate nothing. You could be able to strengthen yourself and you could be able to, be able to really and truly brave the clemency of whatever condition prevails in our country, Trinidad and Tobago. Again, my friends, things like shelter readiness, that should be done by the government of the day in case anything should happen. Because I tell you something, let me just give you an example, right? Our border here, Felicity and the ocean is mere miles, maybe a half a mile from where we are to the ocean. Is just maybe half a mile to the ocean, right? So the point I'm making here, if something should be launched in our direction, we are going to be the first. We are the ones who are going to be the first. So we have to be mindful of all these things, my friends. Information, situations, awareness on our behavior is very, very important. Information sharing, right? The behavior, how we conduct ourselves, those things are very important. Not because you have, that is one of the reasons. That is one of the reasons that many nations have failed. Because you see, when people have, they don't study the have-nots. They only study the have. We have, and we don't care about the people who don't have. And that is the reason why there's so much criminal elements in our society. Because people who have, the criminals watching, hey, look, them have. We don't have nothing. But we have to take something from them. And they feel that that's a legitimate consequence that they can do. And how the law system is in many parts of the world, they are getting away scot-free. Even in our country, sometimes they get away scot-free. And I use the word sometimes, which might be more lenient on the other side. So again, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, We have to look at things like, what I've told you all. We have to look at damage control. We have to look at many things. But many of our information that we are sharing on this program really and truly has to come from a governmental level if anything should happen adverse in the coming days. Because we are talking about coming days, right? And censorship is important when it comes to information. So my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who are locked on, I want to thank you all very, very much and ask you all to continue sharing information, send your information to me. As I said, let me just give the government of the day time to breathe, right? And my concluding remarks for the opposition, which is the PNM, hear me good, as an imam, you know what has get me vexed, Trinidad and Tobago? Let me tell you what has get me vexed. None of us, imam, whoever, we are not the best. We are not the best human beings trying to be something good, right? But you know what has pained me? Knowing for a fact that a certain individual, right, he lived his life for 60 years, 65 years, drinking, fornicating, robbing, thieving, doing all kind of things. And God help him that he changed his way of life. And when he comes to the place of worship, he could see everybody else's fault. Everybody else's fault that man could see. But he couldn't see his own faults for 65 years. He do everything bad. But he could see the young children and tell Imam, boy, look at these fellas now. Why you don't correct them? Look at this, look at that. They're drinking, they're smoking, they're gambling. They're fornicating. And they're doing all kind of things. They're going Ramlila, they're going this, they're going that, they're going... And give me a whole set of Jerry story. But you know what has pained me? When I watch that individual and I reflect, but as the very said man was doing all them thing, boy, and only recently coming. But when they come in, they see that they become the worst critic. That's what has pained me. So I want to give some information here today. Before you criticize anybody about their behavior, look into your own damn behavior. Look into your own behavior. Look into your own conduct. And if you white as milk and you clean and you feel that here what I am the best person, still think again, because I tell you something, that wouldn't change the price of oil. Because on the day of judgment, you have to stand before God Almighty. And you have to give judge, and he have to give judgment, not me or not you. So some of you have to stay quiet, especially the PNM ministers who was there for 10 years, right? You all could solve every problem now. Everything Kamala Prasad Bisesa doing and everything she ministers doing, you could find flaws in it. You could find errors in it. You could find mistakes in it. They could do it this way. They should not do it that way. And this, that, the next, right? But you all were there for 10 years. That is the reason why I tell you, you all should shut your mouth and stay quiet. And you know what? Take blows now, because you are the one who leave it like that. You all, if Dave Tanku, who is the Minister of Finance, don't have money to pay salaries, that is the PNM fault. That is not Dave Tanku's fault. Because I tell you something, if the union, I see union, pull that file before we close. Union rebelling now and saying that the government breaching in there, whatever. Look at this guy. Here what he's saying, union accused government of breach of trust. Who is this guy? I don't know this guy, but still, he's a union leader, right? And he's making that assumption, accusation. But what is happening is that you have to understand where Dave Tanku is going to get money from, which bank account he's going to pull out from. He's going to go Republic, Royal Bank and pull out money to pay that. You have to understand the past government, the past regime, they left the country in a condition. They left the country in a condition like that. So these ministers who take up the mantle and the responsibility of leadership now, they have to rake and scrape. They have to rake and scrape. They have to do budget this and budget that. And you know what they have to do? They have to try to facilitate, because everybody appetite big. The big appetite like Kobo. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, I really and truly didn't want to go down this road today. But again, sometimes I can't help it. So Trinidad and Tobago, I thank you all very much. May God Almighty bless you all, keep you all safe. And again, to those persons who are criticizing and condemning the government, it's about time you hold your shin and try to make positive, you are criticizing, nothing wrong criticize, but make, constructive criticism that could help the country, and not Dave Tanku doing this, and Jolene John doing this, and Barry Padara doing this, and Kamala Prasad Bisesa doing this. Stop that madness. It's either you work with them and correct them properly, or you just keep your mouth shut. That's it. Finish. I thank you all very much. May God Almighty bless us and have mercy upon our citizens of our country, and may God Almighty protect our beautiful country, Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you. Imam Rashid Karim signing off.